Right guys, Mark Crossfield here, Titleist H1 H2 816 hybrids. Now I'm really excited about this, and I know this video won't get the views as the driver reviews get, which I think is a real shame and kind of shows a lot of you where maybe you're getting this game completely wrong. Let's get stuck in. Now I'm really excited about this review because I'm a hybrid player. I love my hybrids. I've got two 23 degrees. I've got the H1 and the H2 from Titleist here. So we get an action recoil channel in both of these clubs. This is quite deep channel, goes all the way from toe to heel at the front, which they're saying are going to help with off-center hits low and across the face, keep ball speeds up. Ultra thin faces, they're saying you get in the kind of revolutionary sure fit hosel, which they kind of innovated and everyone kind of tagged along and copied, allowing you to move the lofts by 1 degree now, so that's slightly changed from the older model. 816 has come out so quick as well on the hybrids because they've aligned the hybrid launch to their iron launch. So anyone who's got the other hybrids I'm sure is going to be slightly upset with that, but it's much more to align with their iron launch. Now as a company who pretty much stick to a 2-year launch kind of rotor, if you like, you don't get a more kind of industry honest company than Titleist. They're not about bells and whistles, they're just about stuff that works. Now with these two hybrids and the release date, to move them in line with the irons to me makes perfect sense. I totally understand why they've done it, and I think it's a good thing. What are we getting on the two? So H1 is bigger, less offset, almost onset. H2 has this kind of little offset in it as well. Both are featuring high MOI. For me, H1 is the more friendly kind of sweepers club, where the H2 is maybe for the person who prefers longer irons. Does make me feel like I want to almost hit down and kind of dig a bit more like I would with an iron, where H1, it plays into my more sweeping kind of style, which I prefer. Let's give them a hit, see what they feel. I mean, I love H1. It's basically the exact same shape as the hybrid I used, just in an all grey finish with a blacked face. I'm really liking the look of these hybrids. I think they're some of the best Titleist have made in a long time. Let's give it a hit, see what it feels like. I mean, this just feels like being at home, very comfortable. This is my 4-iron distance of 23 degree. But what I like with my hybrid is I can hit it 6-iron distance and I can hit it almost 1-iron distance. This one feels very easy to launch, the H1. It feels really easy to get up in the air, but I also feel like I could knock it down as well if I wanted to keep it lower. I like the bigger head and the face leading forward from the top line and the shaft a little bit. Again, this makes me feel like I'm gonna sweep it off the turf, which I do with ease. I mean, I just enjoy playing hybrids. The other thing I love about hybrids, you get roll and bulge on them, so when you're off-centre hitch, you're going to get the ball starting and gearing back in a better direction, where with an iron, you're not going to get as much gear, next to none, and the club you'll tend to lose distance and the ball might just tend to spin offline a little bit more. Hybrids, guys, definitely something you should all really try and get more excited about. Unfortunately, golf's played by males who just like long balls and get seduced by the advertising around drivers, where this part of people's games, I think, just has a massive room for improvement across the country and across the world, really. Where drivers, they're all kind of maxed, guys, which I know you don't like the sound of. Right, H2, it's smaller, it's got all the same tech as such, action recoil channel, same neck. It's got that little kind of kink at the bottom, which does make it feel like I want to play this a bit more like an iron. I mean, I won't, I'll try and play it the same, see how it feels. It does feel pretty much exactly the same, sounds and everything else. It does just set me up to play, or make me feel like I need to attack the ball in a different way, which I think is what Titleist are doing, is they're playing a lot with the looks of this club to playing to players' feelings of how they want to hit it. It's interesting, isn't it? It'd be interesting to look at the numbers between these two to see if I actually do anything different. Let's give it another hit. I don't like H2 as much, H1 all day long for me, but I know someone like Lockie who plays in our videos who likes long irons more, he would prefer this to that all day long because he wants to chunk down on it a bit more. Yeah, again, it feels good and it feels almost exactly the same, to be honest. Let's have a look at these numbers then. Let's see if I did do anything different between H1 and H2 with those slight kind of little design differences. Right guys, numbers time, interesting. 195 averaging with both, so exactly the same distance. Peak height with H1, so the easier to launch for me, the one I want to sweep, 35 yards. Peak height with H2, The one I feel like I want to hit down a little bit more, 33 yards. Launching 16.9 with H1, launching 15.3 with H2. Definitely the looks of those two clubs and maybe that head size as well is making me play those instinctively differently to get the same out of them. So you can see the clubs are performing very much the same. The way they're setting them up is making me adapt to them, but I'm getting the same results. I'm just going to buy into that extra height. I want my 23 hybrid to be able to go up in the air because I know I can knock it down on purpose. If I hit a 4-iron, I know I'm struggling to get it too much in the, or enough in the air. That's why I go for a hybrid instead. Both spinning almost exactly the same. H1 spinning a little bit less, possibly higher strikes on the face, or the CG might be a fraction lower in H1 because of the size of the head. It might be able to get a bit further back and down, but very small amounts in that. Strike will do that more than anything else. And then what's quite interesting with these, look at the grouping there. That's why I play. These are nearly 200-yard shots, and I'm grouping that like a 9-iron. Get your hybrids, guys, get excited about them, start understanding them a bit more. So many people come for lessons with me and they have a hybrid. What hybrid have you got? Oh, I don't know. What loft is it? I don't know. How can you not know those things? You've got to start getting excited about these clubs more. This is where I think in golf there are the biggest gains from all the equipment and all these reviews. Everyone likes to say they're hitting their driver 10 yards further in lots of them, and it kind of makes me a little sad to hear that. When actually here is where I think there's so many more gains to be had. Good hybrids there. If I wasn't so happy with my rinky dinks, this would be going in the bag, absolutely no problem. But I love my rinky dinks. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more videos. Find me on Instagram at Crossfield Mark, also on Twitter at 4golfonline. Find me on Facebook, Mark Crossfield. Thanks for watching. Post comments as always, and see you soon.